You've finally arrived, though you didn't intend to. This is a small, sleepy town where the impossible thrives and bizarre runs rampant. Think fast, you've found your way to Uncanny Cove. $200. $200. You mutter to yourself as you shuffle your way through the neighborhood. You've never liked babysitting. In fact, you wouldn't be doing it at all if your parents hadn't volunteered you for it. But who could argue with $200 for a single night? That used car you've been pining over? It's so close you can almost taste it. As you approach the large white house at the end of the neighborhood, you're reminded just how loaded the Sunderlands are. James was into some psychiatric work, and Mary worked at the local Uncanny Cove hospital. To you, those jobs never seem to equate their lavish lifestyle, but who are you to question it? Please, come in. Mary and I are in a rush, but you know the details already. Eddie's in the living room playing video games, and Laura's upstairs. Oh, and there's pizza money on the table for when you guys get hungry. Just so you know, the VCR in the living room has been acting up, so if you want to watch a tape tonight, feel free to use the one in our bedroom. Thanks again, and we'll see you tonight around 1 a.m. With pleasantries out of the way, it was time to find the little squirts and get the night started. Just as James had mentioned, Eddie seemed to be completely absorbed by the blue TV glow, his chubby fingers pounding furiously at the buttons on the yellow three-pronged controller firmly in his grasp. You chuckle to yourself as you leave the living room and head for the stairs. This is going to be the easiest $200 yet. As you climb up the stairs, you hear the patter of footsteps run down the hall and to the right. As per usual, Laura's playing the hiding game. You've grown used to this by now and skip the pointless, "Where are you, Laura?" you usually belt out. This time, you'll find her first and give her a good scare. Carefully, you lighten your steps so not to alert the hiding 8-year-old. From the sound of the steps, it sounded like she dashed into James and Mary's room at the end of the hall. As you make your way to the slightly ajar door, you swing it open with great force and jump into the room, your face contorted in the scariest expression you can muster. However, what you're met with makes your skin crawl. Your heart starts to race as you peer into the darkness, only to find a short clown perched in the far... Wait a second. No, it's a statue. You let out a sigh as you shake your head. You gotta admit, it is a horrible, tasteless, and all-around creepy clown statue. But it's a statue nonetheless. You close the door and head toward the other end of the hall. Laura smiles as you approach her brightly lit room. Ah yes, a tea party. You should have known. You greet the two dolls, Stuffed Bear, Barbie, and Laura politely before making your exit. You then head back down the stairs. As sunset makes way for night, you find the hours passing at a comfortable pace. Despite your initial griping, the job goes off without a hitch. You have to admit, it was actually fun to sit down and play some video games with Eddie. You even enjoyed the brief tea party and ceremony with Laura. Forget that grocery store job. You might opt in for full-time sitting at this rate. After cleaning up the pizza boxes, turning off the living room TV, tucking in a fast-asleep Laura, and allowing Eddie to play his Game Boy in bed, you're finally starting to settle in for the night. You should have known it wouldn't be that easy getting these two to sleep. With a groan, you make your way back upstairs into Eddie's room. Asleep? Yeah, right. You scoff as you turn off the light and close the door behind you. You then peek in on Laura across the hall. She's still asleep in the same position you left her in. You know something fishy is going on, but you can't argue that they've put up a convincing act. To deter the two munchkins from their late-night shenanigans, you decide to head to James and Mary's room to watch a tape. The master bedroom really is a sight to be seen, but you can't shake the creepiness of that clown statue in the corner of the room. It's smaller than your average person, but not small enough to look totally unlifelike. Why on earth did they buy this thing? As you attempt to watch the video, you can't help but keep shifting your sight to your peripherals. It's not like the statue is moving, but you can't shake the eeriness of its watchful gaze. That's it. That statue has got to go. You look around for something to drape over it, but decide against that to avoid the risk of breaking it. You'll just call James instead and ask if you can move it somewhere else. Hopefully he's not offended. As you make your way back down the stairs and to the kitchen landline, you hear the patter of footsteps once more. You guys better get back to sleep. I'm calling your parents right now, you think to yourself. Hey, I hope everything is alright with Laura and Eddie. Was there something you needed? In the most polite way possible, you explain the situation, hoping to not offend James for his awful taste in art. There's a long, dead, silent pause. Get Eddie and Laura, and leave the house right now. You're dumbfounded. Leave the house? Why? What is James talking about? Did you hear me? Leave now. We don't have a clown statue. You almost drop the receiver in shock. What on earth is he talking about? The statue is right upstairs. Your heart starts pounding as you dash your way up the stairs and into James and Mary's room. To your horror, the clown statue is nowhere to be seen. Shaking yourself out of your stupor, you sprint to Laura and Eddie's adjacent rooms. Your knees nearly give out as you start to shake uncontrollably. There's no clown statue, no Eddie, and no Laura. You collapse to the floor, the only comfort to be found coming from the cool breeze blowing through the open window in Laura's room. If something doesn't seem right, it probably isn't. Listen to your heart, especially when you find yourself in Uncanny Cove.
Subscribe to Uncanny Cove. It is a pretty cool channel. I'm Principiant, son. Laura $7 in it. Consent at your savage singing leader. Send time I'm up temper in bed on top lab or at follow magnetic with a rat. Send time will up to it. I cannot handle this anymore.